Hello everybody, it is Nicole with A-Frayed-Knot, just hopping on tonight to do some crafting with you. Today is actually Wood Pack Wednesday, but we are not going to paint the wood pack tonight. I am going to show it to you. You can go snag one if you would like, and we will paint it on Monday. It is actually, what we are going to paint is our Military Boots May Monthly Kit. Our wood pack though for Wednesday is our Patriotic bows. I'm calling it Patriotic bows because in the woodworking group you can see the swag back there that we made out of it. Adorable. So I'm going to show you how to paint the bow like that, and then you can literally make anything that you would like out of it. But I will show you all of that on Monday. The bows are now available. We sent emails out and all the things. So this is what they look like. But there's 3 of them in the pack, and they are great for any time, really. They don't have to be patriotic. I just love patriotic decor, and it is that time of year. So I painted them in a patriotic theme. So anywho, all right, I see y'all hopping on. I'm going to get my iPad going, and I'm going to tell you what we're doing tonight with our military boots door hanger. So I'm going to walk you through this step by step. The kits were shipped out if you ordered one on, I think, the 15th. So some of y'all have probably received them. If you haven't, you should be getting it anytime now. Hi, Teresa. Hey, Tabitha. Hello, Angie and Carly. Hey, Martha. Hey, Deborah. How are you, girl? Hello, Ellen. How's everybody doing? So, let me get this going, and then I will... Oh, there we are. There we are. Hey, Barb, how are ya? Hello, Vicky. Hey, Donna. Hi, Ellen and Angela. How are you guys all doing? So weird because, Barb, your comment literally just popped up here, but I seen it here when you heard me say hi. I probably will put my hair up. It's hot out here. We reached 92. Actually, it might have, no, probably was that was the hottest. I need to shift my walking time to the morning, clearly, because I was out getting my walk in just a little while ago, and it's too hot for that. Hey, Sue, how are ya? Hello, Sherry. Hey, Erin and Teresa and Geneva. All right, let me show you what we've got for our boots kit. So the one thing I'm really going to walk you through is putting the transfer template together, because you're going to need that. Well, I don't know, you might not need that. I need that for a project like this, because that's what's going to help you paint this. Does this look like a cow to anyone else? I feel like this looks like a cow. And this could be like some flowers, or maybe you could make her a Highland cow. I don't know. It just looks like a cow to me, but it is boots. So originally there was 2 ways to get this kit. There no longer is. It was originally available with the paints that I'm using, and then just the kit by itself. I think we literally just have like 1 kit left, and it's just a kit by itself. And because there were so many paint colors with this one, I offered it with the 1 ounce bottles, which is plenty for this project, to try to keep the cost down. I don't know what I did with my white 1 ounce bottle of the cotton, so I'm using this one. But that's why there's so many paints here that I'm going to be using tonight. Hey, Agatha, how are you? Hi, Vicky. Hello, Elizabeth. I'm probably going to have to turn on the little bug zapper. I keep forgetting. Hey, Teresa and Trula. It's 54, cold, rainy, and yucky, Barb said. I almost would trade. I promise you. I almost would trade because I'm just not built for this heat anymore. I'm not. Oh, my goodness. Deborah said mid-90s in Central Florida. Humid. It's already humid, huh? It really is not humid here. That is the one thing I'm going to be thankful for, because I don't know that I could deal with both, but it's hot and I'm not ready for it. Clearly I'm not acclimated to it. So And that's why I tried so hard this winter not to complain about the cold, which I know a lot of you laugh at me when I talk about the cold because, and that's okay. I poke fun at myself also because I realize it's probably not that cold, but it is cold to us. I try not to complain about it just because I know the summer is coming and I will complain about the heat. All right, let me turn on the bug zapper really quickly. Just give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. The plug is actually behind my snowman right there, so I just have to get back in there. Barb said, I'm so done with the rain. Oh no, Agatha said she's so done with the rain. Oh gosh, Deborah. I remember that just from when I was in Florida in September, and one summer I was in Alabama in August, and it was different. Yeah, it was very different. It's almost suffocating. So, all right. Here is the template. I want to show you what it looks like because it looks kind of like what in the world. So what we want to do, so this right here is a separate piece, okay? Ultimately, what we are going to end up with is this right here. And holy moly, if I didn't bring Scotch tape out here, I forgot. So, I'm gonna have to get, let me grab my big tape dispenser real quick because I do need clear tape, so. Okay, this'll work. That'll work for right now, just so we can get it taped up. 65 and Nice in Western Washington. Okay, so let me move that. So what I want to do right off the bat is cut this down. Let's cut this down because we're going to need this piece separately. So where the dashes are at, you can just kind of cut it on the dashes. So this is going to be the outside left part of our template. So this right here is ultimately going to be this piece right here. So you can kind of see how I've taped this one together. I just want to give you that visual. Sometimes it helps to see that, you know, like building a puzzle. So I'm going to set that to the side, and then our boots are going at the bottom, okay? And then we're going to have this piece is going to go up here, and you're going to kind of line them up. So you see how we have the dog tags right here, kind of as an outline, and then we have them right here. So we can kind of just slide it right down on top. So this all ends up lining up on here, but we could put this one on the top. So what I want to do to start out is just kind of cut this. I'm going to cut it a little bit more. Just like that. So that this way we can kind of slide it down. So you see how, and you could even come up here. You could even come up here and kind of cut this out if you wanted to, if it made it easier that way. And then you see how we have these go to there. So these shoelaces right here, that's this one and this one, the top one. So we can kind of just bring this down like so and line it up. Or, like I said, we can literally cut this out. I'm just going to show you both ways. And then you could do it however it is easiest for you. It might be easiest just to kind of line these dog tags up. And then kind of come straight across like this. Because remember, we just need this top part. We already got all of that right there. You see how I got the boots already? So if I just come in here and line this up like so, that is going to be perfect. There we go. And even if it's kind of off just a little bit, it'll be fine because you're just going to use that as a guide. So what I mean is you can take, let's see here. There we go. And then I'm just going to tape it. Just like that. And then we can even come in and cut this out, the outside part of it. Or you can leave it just like that. For me, it's a little bit easier to just kind of cut around so that you have all of this detail and then you can lay it down. So I'm going to show you laying it down on your blank wood next. I almost forgot that side piece right there. We're definitely going to need that side piece on here. So you can kind of see there's like almost a little 1/4 inch like line right there. It's not really a line, it's just like where the printer stops printing because there's nothing else to print. So you can kind of see that. I like to trim that off. It just makes it easier to line this up. So then we're going to line this up just like this. I'm going to trim this one just a little bit more along the line right here because we don't need these lines right here. Okay, so this is going to be, you see how I have all of that right there? That is that right there. So we're going to line that up. And we could cut that part off right there because that's part of the boot. You see how that's part of the boot? And then we're going to bring this back up here. So we're lining this up with that. You see how I've got, whoops, I want to make sure you guys can see this. Sorry, I got off the camera. So this loop right here that you see is part of this circle in the flower, and you're going to slide it over. So you want to slide it over so that that line lines up with the top of the flower right there. This circle lines up with that, and then you could bring it in until that lines up. Now mine is a little gap because I really need to cut. I could cut more of that, but I know where it goes. So I'm just going to leave it right there. And then this line is just going to continue down for the boot. I could have cut this a lot more, but I'm just leaving it because it's going to be fine. And then I'm just going to tape this down. Just like that. And then I'm going to tape this right here too. And then what we can do is then continue cutting. So we've got the rest of our flower right here, you can see, and our leaves. And it might just look like a bunch of like angles and circles, but as you start to paint it, which that's what I'm going to do with you, it'll start to come to life. And then I like to just cut this part out right here because this is what's going to line up with our with our wood blank piece. And then as we cut this right here, this is just the side of the boot. And we're cutting on into the bottom of the boot. And then we just have this bottom right here, which this does not have to line up perfectly with the bottom of the boots. And it may or it may not. All we really are concerned with is getting this line right there so that we can paint, you know, our details and stuff. Okay, so you can see how that line was a little bit off when I was lining it up, but it's fine now because when we cut it and trim it down, it's okay. So then there we have our template. So next what we want to do, hey Barb, thank you Vicky for the stars, I appreciate that. You are so excited to get your kit. Oh, you're doing it for your son who was in the Army for 13 years. That's awesome, Vicky. He's going to love it. And a big, huge thank you to your son for his service. All right, the time has come. I need to pull my hair back just because it's warm and I think I'll do better with my hair out of the way. Okay, and then I'm going to move our little tape dispenser right here, just to give me a little bit more space. So thank you for bearing with me. Okay, next what we're going to do is we're going to take our template. Now this part right here is going to be the right side of your template. I realize things are backwards, but as I'm looking at this, that's the right side, okay? So you see like these angles right here, that should be on your left side, and this part should be on your right side. And then I like to use transfer paper. Let me see. I know I've got a bigger piece here somewhere. Oh, here it is. It's right in front of me. Okay. So I like to use the carbon transfer paper, and then we lay our template right on here just like so. Just like so, okay? And what we're going to want to do is get all of this transferred on. So it's right here, like this part here, the top, and then the leaves. You want to make sure like this little part lines up pretty good with this. And then this right here on our right side of the surface is our flag. So this part, you want to make sure it lines up. And then right here is going to be our flowers. And if this side right here doesn't exactly line up perfect, it's okay. And then remember I told you down here, your bottom might not meet all the way down here, and that's fine. Because all we want really is this line right here. So if it doesn't meet all the way, don't stress out. You don't have to worry about adjusting it and moving it down. All we're really concerned about is that black line right there. Okay, so what I'll probably do is start with, I think I'm going to start with the top and then just kind of work my way down with making the transfer happen. So what I'm going to do is just take a pencil, pen, whatever you've got handy, and then we're just going to lay our paper down like so. I'm just double checking that I've got everything kind of where I want it. There we go. And then we're just going to start. So I want to just trace over all these parts, right? All in the inside here, basically. So I'll start with that circle, and you can see it's transferring nicely. And then I'll do this line right here. Now for me, there's no reason for me right off the bat. Well, there's two ways we could do the stripes on the flag. So I'm going to go ahead and do this right here. This will be the blue banner inside the flag. You can definitely go ahead and just do the lines if you want right off the get-go, and then just paint the stripes red. So these are the stripes right here. This is going to be a stripe, stripe, and a little stripe. So you can paint it individually. Sometimes I like to just paint the whole flag white and then put the details in. It's really whatever you're comfortable doing as far as that goes. So then we're going to trace over each flower, the center, okay. And then what I'm going to do is kind of slide this over here so we can kind of continue on with our tracing. I like to look because there's so much on here that we have to trace. I just want to make sure I get everything. I know that moved a little. Yeah, see, I know I moved it a little. And if you move it a little, it's okay. Okay, I got that one. I got that one. Let's see. We'll get this one. And then this. Okay, and then I do want to do each one of these individually. We'll definitely go back and add, you know, the details to it with like a black paint pen. I did use the Posca pen to outline this stuff. And then I go back and put USA in separately. Okay, I need to slide this down a little. Okay, and then we're going to, let's make sure I got this petal right here. I did. So we're going to do the top of the boot. And then let's pull this to, oh, I keep moving it. Okay, I'm not going to do these until like later. We'll go back and put those on later. But we do want this line right here because that's going to help us do like the shading for the tongue of the boot and make the shading just a little bit different. Thank you, Ellen. Hey, Maria. Hey, Jennifer and Logan. How you guys doing? Okay, and then let's see. We're gonna do that right there. We definitely want to do this right here because this, now even though this line is gonna be like a detail line later, it helps us in doing different tones with our brown colors. And I will do this one. So the shoelace lines, I'm not doing those until towards the end. That'll be part of our detail work. Okay, let's move this over. If you have a big enough transfer paper, you can just lay the whole thing down. Honestly, I was just being lazy. I could pull out a bigger transfer paper, but to me, it's okay. I don't mind moving it around. Okay. And then I think we got everything. Let's just double check that we got all the details on here that we need. I'm pretty sure we'll do the star later also because we're gonna have to paint that. Let me see. I know something is missing here. Oh, okay, this is just gonna be, okay, this is just a flagpole, so we're good right there. We could add a little line right in there. I'm gonna add a little line just right here because this is gonna just be all painted flagpole right here. I wanna make sure I got that detail. Yes, I did. So I think we're good. Yeah, so this is all boot, 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 and then flag. That's the top of the flag, the pole. This is ultimately going to be a leaf. So what I'll do is just start the painting, and we're just going to be using a bunch of different colors. So anything that needs to, it looks like I didn't add in a line right here. So let me line this back up and see if I could add that in. I missed a couple spots, so I'll just add a couple. Oh, that worked out good. So you can almost line it back up without, you know, any difficulty if you pull it up and notice that you've missed some. And then let me see. And it's not a bad idea to keep your template, so, you know, handy so you can kind of see it and say, okay, this is going to be a leaf line. So you can see where all the petals are. So this flower right here is red. All the centers of the flower are yellow in the color sunflower. And then our leaves are all in the color cactus. I'm gonna set that right there because that helps. And just gonna pull out, I like to use smaller brushes. So I'm pulling out some of my round brushes. Now for the sides, that could be a little cumbersome, but like I said, sometimes I don't just want to be switching paintbrushes all the time. So, Ellen, the pattern for this project is available with this wood kit. So you get the surface, you get the template for the pattern, which it comes in 2 pieces. It's too big for me just to make one copy, so it's 2 pieces. And then I have a little packet somewhere. Oh, and then this, just for a little hanger if you want a hanger for it. I did put that. So we're gonna use the color cactus. And I'm just gonna start on this side and kind of work my way over here. And then we'll do the boots, and that's just kind of how we're gonna do it. So, just gonna get a little bit of the cactus, and I'm usually just most comfortable with this round brush and this square brush for the sides. So I think what I'll do is go ahead and just start with the sides. This right here is all part of the leaf. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, that is the leaf. Okay. This is a flower petal. This is a leaf. So we're just gonna go, let me paint it and then I'll hold it up so you could see. And I'm starting with the sides first. And then I'll take my smaller round brush and then go in. Go in and get the details. Well, meaning the part of the surface. We'll do more detail work with a paint pen. All right, so this all right here is going to be leaf. Okay, so you can kind of see what I've painted for the sides, okay? So then what I'm going to do is just come in here with my round brush. Hey, Penny. Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of come in, and I did say I was gonna start over here, didn't I? I'm just gonna do this one and then we'll go back to the other side. Okay, so this is a flower, that's a flower. I'm just gonna come on in here because I think, looking at my template, I think the leaf can kind of just come all the way down into here. Okay. And then that will definitely look more like a leaf once we get in there and just kind of put like the leaf details in there. And then I'll come back over here like I said I was gonna do and add this in. So I'm just gonna kind of follow around this petal for the flower. Okay, and then we go back in and then that's when we just kind of paint out the different colors for the flowers. Thank you, Kim. Hey, Dolores. Hello. Okay, and then let's see. Okay, so we are going to kind of get down in here. So this line that you see right here, that's just like a detail for the leaf. You're going to paint over it. I just do it just to avoid confusion while I'm tracing. But I know I don't need to put in the lines for the shoelaces because I'll paint right over it. But with all this up here on your on your template, there's so many details that rather than try to tell you, don't put this one, but put that one, I just do it all because it just makes it easier. But just know you're going to paint over these and then go back later and use it to kind of put your just details for the leaf. It's just like a line that kind of like the line that runs through a leaf. And I probably could have used a bit bigger of a brush, but it's okay. This one is, it's not covering. I mean, it's doing the job. So you can kind of see what that's looking like. And once we get to that part where we're going to put the details for the leaves, there's two ways you can do it. You can look at your template and just kind of do it. Or you can lay your template back on and then trace it over. I prefer to just kind of look at my template and just do it. Hey, Robin. It definitely could be a paint by numbers, Agatha. And I was trying to find the best way that's probably not a bad idea. I didn't even think along those lines, but that would have been good because there is a lot to it, but I think once you see a picture of it, and it might be easy, like when you're painting yours, to print a picture of it so you can have it kind of next to you and kind of see it. Or you take your template and you could write, you know, green or whatever is easiest for you, really. Okay, I think we might have got all the green, all the leaves painted. And then if you need to go over and just kind of touch anything up, definitely do that. But I think we got it all painted. I think that's good. I'm just kind of looking to see what we've got here. Right in this area right here, there's like a little space right here where you could definitely add a little green if you wanted, and just call that like part of the leaf area, or paint it in, you know, the color of the flower that you're using. Okay, I'm gonna wipe this brush off because I might actually use it again. See, I have plenty of cactus in my palette, so I might go back over and just add some more. You see how I got my bigger brush out? Okay, that's pretty good. Okay. And then we just, so this flower right here will be red. All the centers are in the sunflower color. I mentioned that. So this one right here will be red. This will be cotton. Well, actually firehouse or red, whatever color, you know, red you're going to be using, or any color for that matter. You can paint it any color you want, but this is red, white, and blue, basically. So I'm going to go ahead and get my firehouse. You know what? I'm gonna just use this one because it's already been opened. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm gonna start, I'm thinking, sorry. I'll start right here. See, I'm trying to be strategic because I don't want to paint and then come over here and then start smearing stuff. So I figure if I work this way, that should be okay. And again, remember, I've got lines in here. I'm going to be painting over them, and that's fine because at the end, it's going to be our details, and we can come back and add those. So I'm kind of just going around this circle right here. And if there's any pencil marks that you can see, don't really worry about it because we're going to go back over these pencil lines. So if they show through, that's really a benefit because those pencil lines, we are going to go back over and kind of outline it with the paint pen or a paintbrush, whatever you prefer. See, I prefer a round brush like this because it's just easier for me to go around on these detailed spots right here, like where I want to meet the I want my red to meet up with the cactus color, just like you see here. I didn't mean to paint inside that circle, but I got carried away. And then I'm going to come over here and paint that one. Just like that. And I see the pencil lines, but like I said, that's almost perfect because that'll help me when I'm going back to do the detail work. And then right here where the dog tag is, I just want to kind of paint right around that like so. And then right down in here, we're just going to kind of come on in here with our paintbrush. Those are all going to get painted in River Rock. All these little circles right here, that's part of the dog tags. Okay, there is our red flower. And I'm thinking we might as well just go ahead and do the red stripes also. A lot of times you see me paint flags and I like to paint the whole thing white, but we put the lines here, so let's just go ahead and paint our stripes out. And then we are going to do the side. We'll do the blue when we paint the blue flower, so that banner in the center. So as soon as I finish all 3 red stripes, I'll hold it up and show you. I just realized I did it wrong. I should have done the bigger stripes. Oh goodness. So this is what happens. I just realized I did it wrong, but that's okay. Because I was thinking, what is this down here? The top one should have been the red stripe. Let me see if I can recover it, because I do want it to be right. Let's see. Sometimes I can kind of wipe it off before it's completely dry. So I made a mistake, and I probably could have left it, but I didn't want to, because it's not the way it's supposed to be. And I want it to be correct for you guys, so. Okay, hopefully, let me get one more, see if I can wipe it a little bit more. Oops. I probably could have just flipped the colors. That crossed my mind for half a second, but I wanted it to be the way I intended for it to be. I think it'll be okay. All right, so I'm gonna switch brushes. We're gonna go with a little bit bigger of a brush for this. Now we're gonna paint the top red. Okay, and then we'll do this part right here. It's going to be red also, in the color Firehouse. Okay, so where I have the red is actually going to be white. So we're going to go red right here. And then right here, okay, so ignore the little pink sections. And then I've got the sides painted also. When I get to the painting the white, which is coming up next, we will fix that. Should be dry, and then we can just paint it in the color Cotton. Alrighty, next we will go ahead and do our color Cotton. So this flower up here is going to be in the color Cotton. Exactly, Ellen, yes, 100%. 100%. I like to just keep it real. I make mistakes all the time too, as you can see, plain as day. Right here with you guys. It's all about recovery. That's how I feel about it. It's all about how we recover. I mean, not just in our crafting, but heck, we could apply that to everyday life. It's just all about recovery. It's our attitude towards the stuff. You know what I mean? Alrighty. So, everything is drying nicely because it's warm. So we're just going to, we're kind of going to outline right around this little piece right here, which will definitely come back and paint in the color Sunflower, which is a bright yellow. And then I want to come down into here. It's going to be easier for me to just kind of do this, get it outlined, and then show you. See how I outlined that? Okay, so I just follow right around where the line is for my cactus green color, just right around that. I want the white cotton color to butt right up to that cactus green color. And then we definitely have to paint this top part. And then finish painting the inside of our daisies. There. So when we go back, so you can kind of see the daisies start to take shape, and then we go back and it's just like our details in the end or what are kind of make it just pop. And just gonna add a little bit more. There we go. I'm gonna just give this a quick little dry just to be sure it's completely dry, and then we're gonna paint the white stripes. Hey, Simply Blessed Designs, thank you. What, the post? Wait, you must have missed the part on the post about the bundle of hair. I'm lost, Angie. I'm so lost. I'm sorry. Okay. So what I'm going to do is come in here. And we're just going to paint these out. So I'm going to kind of line it out to follow along the red stripe. Just like that. And then we're going to do the same thing for the bottom. It's covering nicely. So we'll see what it looks like once the white cotton color starts to dry. But it should be good. Should be good to go. Are you thinking they cut my hair? I just put it up in a ponytail. I didn't cut it. It's just too hot today. It really it's only 92 and I'm out here crying like it's 110. It feels like it. Oh goodness. Okay. Oh, you don't? See, I like to do this. Not all the time, but I do. You know, sometimes I like a good quick project, but then there's times when I do enjoy to do this and then kind of see the finished result. It's kind of relaxing, I think. But, you know, you really have to be able to, like, have the time. Not everybody has the time. I know I don't always have the time, but it is relaxing to just sometimes paint like this. And it's easy. It really is a lot easier than it looks, especially if you have a template like this. It's almost like coloring with a paintbrush. And I mean, quite honestly, you could get paint pens and do it with a paint pen if you wanted to. Where I have fun is down here in the boots. When we get to the boots, and we could have even done the boots first, but we didn't. We did the top first. There. That's not too bad at all. I'm going to give just a little bit more right here, because like I see a little bit of pink coming through, but that covered up nicely. Now you could see some pink, and it looks like pink in other areas, but that'll cover up nicely also once we get the other colors in here that we need. Okay, that's that. Hi, Janet. Oh no, Ellen, 2 days in Wisconsin and a bit chilly. She said it's been raining for 2 days. We had some of that during the winter months. We haven't had rain though in a little bit, a couple weeks. Good evening, Cheryl. All right, our next color that we're going to do is Tahoe. That's going to be this flower and then this banner part right here. The color Tahoe. Let's see. Let's see if that'll be enough. We'll start with that right there. Okay. So we're going to start with, yeah, this flower right here. I wanted to make sure I was doing the right flower. Well, there's only one flower left. So basically our daisies are red, white, and blue. You could literally paint them any color you want, but you see that the theme is patriotic, so that is why they're red, white, and blue. Okay. And then this in here basically is all going to be like part of this daisy. So let me get it all painted and then I'll hold it up so you can kind of see it. You can actually kind of see what I'm doing pretty good on this screen. Okay, so you can kind of see that. My nose is very itchy. It does, doesn't it, Chad? It matches my shirt perfectly. Sure does. I busted out the summer clothes. Today I wore some shorts and a lighter shirt. It's kind of one of those things, like I'm not sure. Do I put I really never put like my sweatshirts and things like that away, but like sweaters and things like that that I wear in the winter, I will put those away. But it's kind of like, do I put them away yet? Because I'm not complaining. I don't mind it cooling down and being cold. I would rather it do that. Like, we could be 90 for a little while and then let's dip back down into the low 70s, even the 60s. My dad and I were talking about that. I know that's not going to happen. We have been having that for the last couple of weeks where it'll reach 90 for a little while during the week and then just a couple of days, and then it'll cool back down into the high 60s even at times. And my dad and I were talking about that because I said I would be perfectly fine if it did that all summer. Like, I'll take 90, high 90s, and then just please cool back down for like 3 days. But nobody's listening to me. Nobody upstairs is listening. Okay. So you see, the daisies are coming to life. I love it. All right. Well, you have a great night. I hope you sleep well, and yes, you'll have to catch the replay. Okay. So you see how I just kind of outlined where this is a flagpole right here, and we're going to come back with the color 24K, which is like a shimmery gold color. And we're going to paint that flagpole. I was so excited to paint the flagpole in the 24K. I really love that color. It's like I got a little paint splatter right there. Okay, so I'm just filling this in right here with the color Tahoe. Thank you, Ellen. Thanks, Penny. And then I'm going to come and do the side right here because we do need to paint that in this color. On this one, it would have been a good idea for me to grab a bigger brush, just, you know, to get coverage a little bit quicker, but it's okay. I don't mind just using this smaller brush. And then we're doing the side right here. Okay. So you can see that. It's looking pretty good. Now what I can do is we're going to paint the insides of the daisies next with the color Sunflower. Every day's the weekend. I love that, Ellen. Hey, Vonna, how are you? Oh, Angie, the smallest bottle for 24K is 2 ounces. That's the smallest one. It wouldn't let you put that one in your cart? Okay, so what I'm doing is just coming in to these little centers right here on the daisy and just painting right around. Sometimes I do a lot of spinning it around. It's just easier for me. There we go. And then we're gonna do this one right here. Again, I like to kind of be strategic with where I'm painting, because if I painted this one next, to get to this one, I'd end up smearing that. So I'm trying to think about that while I'm, you know, painting some of this, because we're using the sunflower color on all 3 centers. Oh, you didn't find it to put in your car. Oh no, I'm sorry. Okay. Oops, that was still wet. Let me add a little bit more here. It's looking really good. Okay. She's looking good. So we're gonna go ahead and do the flagpole next. Thought I broke my brush. Okay, next we will use our color 24K. Let me take a drink. I brought my water out here with me just because it's hot. And I knew this project would take a little bit, just because there's a lot of different, you know, pieces here to this. So I knew it would take a little bit of time. I didn't need that much, but I can put what I don't need back in here. Okay, let's see. I might go ahead and just work with 2 brushes. So we do need to paint the edge here. And the crazy thing is, the way that it goes on, it's almost like, whoops, almost like it goes on and it doesn't look like it. It's almost like it's transparent, but it's not. I promise you it's not. I love the way this goes on and dries. It just looks really, it just looks different when it dries. Tell me if you've used this color and when you put it on and then when it dries. Look at, oh, I love it. It's almost like it looks like the color of the wood, but when it dries, it's completely, I just love it. Thank you, Vonna. Yes, there's a lot going on with this one. Okay, I'm just following this up, all the way up for the flagpole. And then if this pencil line stays, it's fine. Remember, we're gonna put details there anyways. Where all our pencil marks were on here, in the end, we're gonna go back and I'm gonna use the paint pen just to bring all these details out. So don't worry about having to cover up, you know, the pencil marks, because they'll actually help you. I'm going to use this. Maybe I'll use this one. Okay, I think this is perfect. I don't think I really need to add any more. I find myself though adding more because I love it. All right, I got too much out, so I'm gonna put some of it back in the bottle. Okay. Oh, you think it has it really doesn't have any orange in it at all. It might look like it in the screen, but there's no orange. It's definitely like a gold. I'm just going to say shimmer. I really don't want to say metallic. I mean, you can look at it as a metallic, but it's just got the perfect amount of shimmer to it. I would love to get one like this in a rose gold. Okay, let me hold it up so y'all can see it. Okay, next we're going to start with some of the shading fun. So we're gonna need fudgesicle. I'm not actually sure if I'm gonna have enough. I might have more over there that I could grab. So we're gonna need some of the fudgesicle, and we're gonna need, ooh, I got a lot. That's good. Rusty Bell, fudgesicle and Rusty Bell. Let me use this first. Oh, you know what? Put in actual 24K and see if it'll come up that way. Try that, 24K. I'll have to change like the searchability factor for that, so that if you put in chalk paint, that's what'll come up. It'll come up under that. We might not have that set up right, so I'll take a look at that later to make it a little bit easier. Okay. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Is I'm going to start with my Rusty Bell. Okay, see how I did that? And then we can even, excuse me, even come here and just get a good base of it on the side. Down here is going to be just solid fudgesicle color, like a dark brown. That's all that's going to be. Everything is falling because I got the fan on down there at the other end, so it's blowing everything around. See, I'm just getting the Rusty Bell on the sides here. And then I'm going to do it over here on this side also. And we're going to definitely come in and be doing some shading. And just have fun with it. I probably need this smaller round brush to get like back in here. Okay. And then I'm going to get a little bit of my fudge sickle. And you see how I just kind of bring it in and blend it out a little bit. That's all I did, was just kind of bring the fudge sickle in while this is wet. It just changes it up just a little bit. And then the same over here. And if it's like mine and stuff is drying too quick, just add more Rusty Bell. And if you do it and don't like the way it looks, just add more Rusty Bell on it. It's just about coming in with that darker color and just adding it in so that it just kind of gives it a little bit of depth. You see how we do that? We just add it in, it just gives it a little bit of depth. And then what we're gonna do is come in here and just get a base coat in here. So I'm coming in, I kind of messed this up. So all I'm doing is just bringing some fudge sickle right in there. But I want to get a coat of our Rusty Bell. Just like that. And then I want to come in with the fudge sickle and just kind of add it in, because I do want this to look different. I want it to have kind of that depth to it and look different. And if this one is too dark and you want the tongue to be darker, just add more Rusty Bell, just like this. And then come in with fudge sickle and just blend it in. See, I'm just kind of bringing the fudge sickle. And then I can just keep kind of blending it out with the Rusty Bell. Until it looks how I like it. Can you kind of see that? Can you see? It's hard for me to tell if you can see that definition in there where it kind of looks separated like a tongue. And then when we come in with our, let me get more Rusty Bell. I hope you can kind of see that. It's hard for me to tell in the screen if you can see it or not. I love the blending and the shading, and I by no means I'm a pro at it at all. I just play around with it and practice. And you see what I do. I just kind of add color and just sort of layer it back and forth. That's really all I do, is just layer it. And then I'm also kind of following the shape. So you notice it kind of goes out like a V. So I just follow that shape also. And then just, you can come in and add just like this. And then I'll come back in with the fudge sickle. So I just kind of go between the two and just add. I think that looks pretty good. And then what we're gonna do is come in, and I just want this round brush to kind of get some of this detail right here. And then we'll come down and do this part separate. So now this is starting the other boot. And then we're going to come in and just kind of shade, blend it in a little, just like that. So this is the other boot. This is the tongue, but we'll do this side first. Okay, I'm gonna set that. My brushes are drying real quick tonight. Thank you, Teresa. And then we're just gonna take the rusty bell and go all the way down the side. We don't have to do this bottom part though, because that will be just all solid fudge sickle, and we'll do that in a minute. I really do enjoy this and watching it just kind of come to life. Okay, so it's still a bit damp, so I just come in with fudge sickle and then just kind of add it in, just to give it a little bit of a layer. I don't want the outside boot, the outside part of the boot to be super dark though, because my goal is for the tongue to be a little bit darker so that it gives it that definition. But I do want it to look just kind of like a worn boot. So that's why I kind of fuss with the stripe, you know, the shading of it, so that it just looks. So if I come in with the fudge sickle and just kind of, you see, I just put those lines in there. And then we'll come in to this part right here. This is the tongue on this other boot. And I'm just taking care to kind of outline around this dog tag here. And then I just want to get a good coat of Rusty Bell. So Rusty Bell is kind of my base for the boots. Like my base coat that I start with. And for me, it helps to have the paint wet when I come in with Fudge Sickle, which is my darker brown. And I'm definitely going to darken it up. And following kind of that same shape that's just sort of like a V. Okay, so you can kind of see how we've taken that V shape right there. That's perfect, actually. I like that. And then we'll put our details right in there, but they're, so you can kind of see how this is now darker. It's dried a little bit darker, and I like the way that that looks. So what we'll do down here, and I'm using the same brush the entire time for the boots, is we're gonna come in with Rusty Bell. And even if there's any fudge thickle coming through, I'm perfectly fine with that, because I'm gonna put this in the water, because it just gives it a little shading and character to this, what would be like the toe part of the boot. I say, do not be afraid to try this. It is fun, relaxing. I love it. And you kind of notice I'm following around in the circular shape right here. Okay, that looks good. Might need just a little bit more. Okay. Thank you, Barb. No, I haven't, Ellen, but I think that black would look really good too. And then you could still do like the shading with either like the fudge sickle or even a Rusty Bell, but I think black would look good also. But no, I haven't. I'm gonna blend a little bit of my fudge sickle with this. And then I'm gonna follow this circular shape right here. So for these, I'm actually using, I don't know if you could tell, but it's like a shader type brush, and it's slanted. It's not like perfectly square. I don't even know, what do they call, like an angular, I think they call it an angular brush, makes sense. I like it for this type of detail, especially going around in the circle. I had bought, one time at Hobby Lobby, I had bought, I think this was Hobby Lobby. They don't have these anymore. At least I can't find them. A set of brushes, and on the back it shows like all the different brush styles, and I kept it just so I could know what type of brush I was using, what it was called. Because sometimes I will have people like message me and ask those type of questions, and I like to know the technical name if I can remember. just because if you want to go find something like that, it's going to make it easier for you to find it at Hobby Lobby, because they're not going to necessarily have my my vocabulary book. Although sometimes, you know, you'll find an associate that works in those stores that's really good, and you might be trying to describe some, not all the time, but you know, sometimes you might be trying to describe something to them and they'll know what you mean, and I love that. All right, I am adding some fudgesicle in here just to give it a little bit of, you know, little something something. Yeah, I'm just adding a little just to give it a little bit of depth. But look, it's starting to come to life, and I love that. So we're going to, I'm just going to wipe this brush off and continue to use it, because next we're going to paint down here. And then we'll come back up here and paint the dog tags, and then we have all of our base painting done. We're going to get our star in there and start doing our detail work, which is going to really go pretty smoothly. We're going to do some like little just line work, get our shoelaces in, you know, all those things. So this bottom, the bottom of the boots, is just straight fudgesicle. I'm just going to go ahead and paint the sides first. All right, we almost got it. Okay, so there's that. Whew. Oh my goodness, the flies are horrible. Okay. I might use this one for these little circles right here. Now, River Rock is what we're going to use for the tags and this little part. Let me see if I have a different bottle. Let's see here. There I go. I got a different bottle, so I don't have to open that one. Okay. All right. So because these are smaller, I'm going to go ahead and use this this smaller round brush, and I just like to do that to try to get all the bristles together. I'm just literally going to follow around in these circles right here. I can still very much see like my detailed lines for these spaces. And I think if you don't put, you know, too many coats of paint, you'll be able to see them. My leaves, not so much, but that's okay. And then I'm just using this to kind of follow around right here. And then I like to just use this brush to kind of outline the outline of it, and then I'll come back in with the other one. Oh man, I smeared it. I don't even know how I got my hand down there, but let's fix it. So I'm just gonna kind of bring this down a little bit and try to smooth that out. And then I'll come in with this one. Okay, that looks good. I will definitely have to kind of outline to give it, you know, the definition that we need with our paint pen. Okay. All right, I'm gonna need this one, but we need to get some of this dried first. Yes, Ellen, it is very much a gray color. Yeah. I can see where I missed spots. I missed some spots right here too, but I think in the details it'll kind of all start to go together and blend in. Okay. All right, so what I need to do here is lay this back right there just like that, and we could transfer our star on. Make sure that it traced. It's a little hard to see. I'm going to press a little bit harder. There we go. I couldn't see very good right there, but I can see it good now. Okay, and then we're going to come in with our cotton color. We're going to need to get some more because that kind of dried, so. We're gonna need cotton for a few of the details too, just once we, you know, kind of start to get the details on. But for now, let's just paint our star. I'm just following the pattern, just much like we did with the entire rest of the project, and then just painting the star. Thank you, Penny. All right, let me show you. Here's what we're looking like now. So we pretty much have everything completely painted. Everything is painted. So now we're gonna come in and put our details. I wanna make sure that my star is dry. Star is dry. So, there's a couple ways we could do this. Now, what I want to do is I want to get USA in here for sure. That's what I want to do. And the easiest way for me to do that is to just kind of lay this back on. Might not be on there perfectly, but I've kind of laid it up to where I think it's lining up. And then I'm just going to come in and start by doing that. A little line right there. That looks good. And then I'm just going to kind of bring it all the way down here. And I'm going to stop right there because I want to see. Oh, that's perfect. So I stopped just shy of where these two lines intersect, because if it doesn't meet up all the way with the way I've painted it, if I stop a little ways back, I can draw in the rest of it to meet, and I'll show you what I mean. But first, I want to kind of outline my little circles here. And then just look to see what they're looking like. That looks good. These other three circles right here, I can see those and I can see the shape on my project. I can't really see the shape of them because it's sort of blended in with the rest of the dog tag. So that's why I went ahead and circled those ones. Now what I want to do is come in and just outline the USA. Now as far as the thickness and all that goes, you can outline the thickness also. I didn't necessarily do that. Okay, and then I'm going to, it feels like I'm off a little. It looks pretty good, but I feel like I need to, no, I guess it's on there just right. I think it's on okay. I was feeling like it wasn't on there very good, but what I'm gonna do is come in and do my crisscrosses for the shoelaces. So I just wanna come down like this, and then there's gonna be like a little circle right there. That looks good. And then this one I'm gonna put, I think, like that. Oh, you know what I did? Is I made this dog tag a lot bigger than it needed to be. So, let me move this down a little. There we go. I could fix it though when I'm doing this. So we're gonna come down like this. And then up like that. Okay, that's good. And then I'm gonna move over here. Let me see what that looks like. That's good. I just look every now and then because I want to make sure it's transferring. Okay, very good. And then we could come up here and what I want to do is just kind of get a little bit of the details here for the leaves, especially this blue one. Okay, there's two ways you can do it. You can transfer on your leaves, or you can kind of look at this as a guide. And you see how this one right here has a shape that's going to go all the way down to the center of the daisy. And then this one is going to do the same thing. And then we're going to come up and around and over this way. And then I'm looking at that over that way. And then right here, I'm going to have a little one right there. And again, you can very faintly see your pencil lines. So you can faintly see them, which is good. And then just use your template here as a guide. So let's see here. There we go. Just want to make sure that we're cooking with gas. I want to make sure we're working properly. So what we're going to do is I'm going to hold my template up so I can kind of see it. There we go. It's going to be difficult. Okay. And then I'm going to just outline it. So I basically want to start to outline kind of just all around like this with just a black outline, and I can come all the way down to this part of my daisy even. And then this one, just follow around just like that. And then same thing on this side right here. I'm just going to follow it around. Just like that. It's hard for me to see if you guys can see it okay. And then same on that side. I'm just kind of following the shape of the flower, but you can lay your template back on there and put the lines back in. I just can see some of my lines and then just sort of look at my template here and go from there. And then I'm going to do this one. Just like that. And then since we're over here on this side, we're going to go ahead. I can see some of my lines for my daisies here, so I'm just going to start outlining it. I'm going to get to right there, and I'm just going to go all the way. And then we'll do the center. And I'm just doing solid lines. I'm not doing any broken lines or dashes or squigglies or anything like that as far as the black paint pen goes. Okay, so I'm on the, we just did the red flower right here. Now I'm on the white flower. Okay, and then we'll do the center right here. Sometimes that doesn't work for me to hold it up like that. There we go. Okay, now we're on the blue one. So there's our blue one, and then we're going to come around with this side right here. And this is part of the tag, and then we'll just finish this around like this. And there's our blue one. And then what we're going to do is come in here on this dog tag and just kind of line these out. There, so you can kind of see those. And then I've got two right here. You can kind of see the two, it sort of curves around like that. Before I get going too much down here, I'm going to kind of finish off over here. And then we're going to bring our paint pen up to the top just like that. So I just kind of lined out, make sure you could see that. And we're going to come all the way down and all the way around here. Just like that. And then we're going to line straight there. And then we already got that. And we're going to come straight down. And then we'll do a crossed here in just a second. But first we're going to line the star. Just like that, and then we're going to come in and I'm just going to come and just kind of follow this line right here and then go all the way around. Oh, you know what? I forgot this little daisy center right here. Just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the top part of this dog tag. Now I'm lining out the USA. Okay, we'll do the A next. Okay. There's my USA. Okay, so I'm just following along for my little shoelaces. And these are just the lines that I traced on a little bit ago. And I actually have a line that didn't work because I painted that too long. And so the original line that I put on went up into that. So what I did was I just took it and moved it down a little bit. And then we're going to come in. You can clearly see like the definition there of the tongue for the boot. So we're just going to come in and line this out. Just like that. See how we did that? And then we're going to do the same thing on the side over here, is just pretty much draw like a detailed line from this point right along the edge all the way down. All the way down to that part right there. You can see how we did this kind of curved. It just looks a little bit different the way I painted it in like that circle following the toe of the boot. So I'm only going to bring this line to about right here. And I'm just following the outside shape of the boot. I had a little hiccup right there, but I'm going to stop right there. Did a little hiccup, but that's okay. So then we're going to bring a line right here to that point right there. This is actually going to come all the way around to right here. So just kind of continue that around, and then we'll do the same thing over here. But first, let's go get some of the top part of the detail of this boot. So we're going to follow this. Just like that. And then follow that little one just like that. Okay. Hope you could see that okay. I have a glare on the camera, so it's hard for me to see. Hi, Delilah. Thanks, Agatha. right? The details, it's in the details. Yeah, the outlining, I love doing the outlining. So we need to put a little line right here. I can kind of see a line just from the way I painted it, but I do want to come in and just add one because this is going to be, kind of defines like this is a boot and that's a boot. And then we could do this one. Doesn't matter if you do the shoestrings first or if you do the definition of the tongue first. It doesn't really matter. And then we're going to come, same here, we're going to stop right about here. So this is just outlining the side. I'm going to start this one here and just kind of go around. And I'll stop that right there, but I'm going to bring this around like that. And then we definitely want one down there and one right here. Oops. Just like that. And then we can come in with I'm just kind of following along these little jagged edges. Just to give that a little bit of detail. And then we're going to finish off our shoelaces up here. Okay. Once you get the first one, it was hard for me to see the lines. I could barely see them because I didn't draw them dark enough. But once you get that first one, then it's almost like you could see the rest of them better. This is almost too low. Okay. Alrighty, we are almost done, but we have a couple of little, just little details left to do that I'm actually going to do with the cotton color. So what I want to do with the cotton color is I want to come in with just my really fine brush and just, I mean, it's a round brush, it's a really small one. And I just want to add some, just some wispy little white cotton lines. They're actually too thick. I don't want them that thick. Goodness, I want them real thin. Okay. Try again. I'm kind of running out of space. Let me see here. Okay, it's hard for me to leave my hand up. I need my hand to be resting on something. There we go. There we go. I just want it like faint, just a faint white line. And then I do want to come in inside of my flower petals. I can't do it on the white because I am using the cotton, so. So you want to offload your brush every now and then, just because if you get too much of a buildup of the paint in there, it'll make your lines a lot thicker, and I don't want my lines real thick. Oh, I forgot one on here. There we go. Okay, see it kind of just adding a little bit of details to it. And then we're gonna put some right here also. So there's that, and then I'm definitely going to put some in the red part here for the banner. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of my cotton and mix it with what little bit of Rusty Bell that I have. And I probably should use a little bit thicker of a brush. Let's see how this will work. I'm going to switch to a little thicker. There we go. That's just kind of highlighting our toe just a little bit. That was too much. So I'm going to wipe it back, and then this way I can kind of blend it out a little. That's perfect over here. I like this one, is perfect. This one is a little, I'm not a fan of the way this side turned out, but I'm gonna try to fix it a little. I want this just to be a little bit smoother. There we go, that looks good. Okay, and then I think what we'll do is, I'm just gonna add a little bit of highlights with the cotton color to the tags right here. And then I think we've got it pretty good. So we'll just come in with a little bit of the cotton. I could have done, it's not too late. Let's try that. A little bit of shading inside of here. So I'm kind of mixing a little bit of the cotton color with the River Rock, just to get a little shade going on. And then I'm not going to mess too much with this in here just because I don't want to mess it up. What I should have did is I should have shaded this while I was painting it, and I just wasn't even thinking. But that looks pretty good. It just gives it a little bit of a layer to it. There we go. That's good. I like that. It just kind of layered that up a little. I wish I wouldn't have accidentally painted it too long, but I think that's good. I think we got it all pretty. Ta-da! There it is. I knew this would take a while because there's just so many different pieces to it. And then if you want to make it a door hanger, it did come with this little piece of rope and these two. I just like to have those on the back. So all I did was put this just so it was barely a little peep, just barely a peep coming up, so that you could make it a door hanger if you wanted to. Now I'm going to put this paper towel down here because I do not know if anything's wet down there and I don't want to mess that up, but just to put the little peep like that. So I think that looks good. Oh, you guys, I still have this fabric glue in here, and I thought I got it all out. Well, hopefully it'll hold. I thought I got it all out, and apparently I didn't, so that's all right. Okay, and then these, I'm going to put glue right over the top. I just like it to, it kind of seals it a little, in my opinion. And then these little strips will just go right over the top of that. It's fabric, so maybe that fabric glue will be okay. And then I just kind of pinch it in and then let that set up, and then you've got a hanger. Just kind of pinch that in. Ta-da! And we finished! 2 hours and 15 minutes. It takes a while, but I like it. I really had a lot of fun creating this project and painting it and then bringing it to you guys. So I know this was one of the more detailed ones. I've done some other detailed door hangers, but I think this is probably the most detailed one that I've done to date. But I really like it. So I hope you guys do too. Thank you, Ellen. I appreciate that. Thank you, Donna. Oh, Donna, I am so sorry. Oh, I am so sorry, Donna, for your loss. So hard. Thank you, Agatha. Oh, you too, Carol. Thank you so much. And thank you, Barb. Thank you, everybody. Good night, Dolores. Thank you, Tabitha. I appreciate that. Thank you, Mary. So, awesome, Delilah. I love that. Your husband is watching and he's amazed. Thank you. I really am proud of the way this one came out. I truly am. I kind of, oh, my apron. Hope I didn't get paint all over me. I know I say this a lot, but truly, when I say this, I truly mean it. Like, I surprised myself. So anyhow, you guys, it really is just just have fun with the shading, just practice. You really cannot mess it up. I know it might seem like you can, but you can't. Just practice and have fun with it if you got one of these. And if you didn't, you can still have fun with shading with any type of projects that you're doing. So that is it. I'm probably going to hop on live tomorrow night. I hadn't been going live on Thursdays because I do meet with the woodworking group, but I probably will hop on tomorrow night just because we have our kids kit that we need to make, and it is our Patriotic daisy. So I'll probably hop on with y'all tomorrow night and do that. This glue dries like a white color, but that's all right. So anyway, guys, that is it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Enjoy the rest of your night, and more than likely, I will see you tomorrow night. So until then, take care, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.